What it do, people? This is your boy Levelhead back with another Live and Level Gamers podcast. This is episode 129. We're a little late, but hey, sometimes season tastes better. What's up, K-Bomb?
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is K-Bomb 20, ready to get this party popping. So let's do this.
That's what's up. It look like it's just gonna be me and you tonight. Hopefully, D2K might be able to jump in. If Keith Norris is able, he might jump in. But right now, it's just me and this compadre. We're gonna talk about the gaming awards or the game awards. We're gonna talk about PlayStation experience. We're gonna talk about Disney buying or purchasing Fox. What is it? Fox
21st Century Fox.
21st Century Fox. What that means for the Marvel Universe, what it means for all the other stuff that they own. A lot of characters that could not be in the Infinity Wars whole storyline now can possibly come over. What else been good, man? We're going to talk about these haters. What else, man?
Did we talk about the 10 million sold yet? We talked about it. Talk about that.
We ain't talking about that. We got to talk about the 10 million sold. There's a lot we ain't talking about. It's been 2 weeks, well, a week and a half at least since we ain't been on here. So, but anyway, let's get it in, man. So, this is a Live and Level Gamers podcast, episode 129. This is your boy Levelhead. A lot to catch up on, man. But before we get into these topics, what you been doing just in life? We ain't gonna even do the gaming part yet. What's been going on in your world, man?
Bruh, I've been busy, man. I've been busy, as well as some of the people in the podcast know I do. I'm very active in my church. And so we've been trying to wind down with some of the things we're doing. But it's a slight rep up before you can rev down. So that's what we're going through. I really haven't even been at home. I've been at home sleep more than I've been home woke. It's been one of those come home for 30 minutes, back out. So been a little busy on that, man. But to all him be the glory. And so just doing that, trying to plan some more trips. Trying to do that. Definitely, man. Trying to keep the wife happy with traveling and stuff like that, doing what we do. But, and still trying to hang out and chill with family during the season. I love family, so I love hanging out with them. So still trying to do that. And that Star Wars come out this weekend, so I might have to jump. The wife already told me that she has to see it this weekend, so I'm going to try to jump on that and try to find some time to get that done with the rest of the stuff that we're doing.
Yeah, I got to go see that, man. It's funny that you named the stuff with that type of stuff, bro. I just left an event that ain't even at my church, but I got pulled into doing a rap song for a Christmas celebration. So I had to go do my part of the show. And that's basically the rest of this week through Sunday. So I'm doing that at work. Ran into a coworker, didn't know that I could rap and stuff like that. And, right. Oh my God! You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
Like I said, I knew I was gonna run into somebody that probably knew me from work. So anyway, did that. Getting prepared for the holiday season. This be my last. Tomorrow be my last day at work until the 2nd. So I'll be off from tomorrow through to the 2nd. I'm gonna be on vacay. So man, that's gonna be cool. So I'm gonna get a lot of gaming in. Good, yeah, I'm gonna get a whole lot of gaming in. Still getting Christmas gifts wind down. My son gonna bring me his list for gifts, man. This dude think we made the money, bro. This dude's list, one gift was like $800. Like, dude, take that gift up and you need to go revamp that gift. No, we ain't doing it like that. I told you need to go revamp that list. I'll put that under your Christmas tree for Santa Claus and get you all that stuff. Pops ain't. I said you might get one thing off of there, and that'll be it. So but yeah, man, like you spending time with the family. and just preparing for this holiday season. That's been about it for me. Man, it's been a long time since we got up, man. We tried to get up with Jedi Sunday, everybody kind of missed each other. We was on here, but we didn't go live. And then when we ended it, you jumped on. It was like, oh, man, we could have actually done it. So, but anyway, before we get into the topics, let's go ahead and do what you've been gaming on, man. So what you been gaming on for the last few weeks?
So last 2 weeks. So I've got a little bit more active in that Horizon Zero Dawn. I know I was kind of upset I didn't get a chance to play when you was up here because I just got the Pro and I didn't have it downloaded. But I've jumped back into it, and man, I'm still liking it. I think the single player experience is something that will not and should not die. Everyone knows I play a lot of competitive gaming. If that's 2K, if that's Madden, if that's Overwatch, even spring a little Splatoon every now and then. But sometimes it's good to just relax, get away from the competitive gaming, just kind of turn those competitive juices off, get into a deep story and just play it the way you want to play it. And so that's how I've been treating with Horizon Zero Dawn. Is kind of just me time, just me just relaxing, chilling back, and playing the game the way I want to play the game. And so that's what I've been gaming on. Still playing Madden. Still playing the Mud Squads, which is still legit. I enjoy doing that. Played 2K once in the past 2 weeks. My bro was trying to get at me with that. Put it in, played a little bit, just realized the game is still trash. Especially when it comes to online. Actually playing against a computer, it's fine, but playing on the line, man, it's pretty bad. So much cheese going on online. So play that for one day, realizing didn't care for it. I have Call of Duty still, but I'm real close to sending that bad boy back to GameFly. Very close. Only reason I still have it is because a buddy of mine still wants to play it. And I have Battlefront 2. I've downloaded it. I've installed the updates, but I have yet to actually play the game.
You gonna go against the all the gamers and play Battlefront, bro?
I don't care about them. I'm gonna play what I want. I spend my money. You spend your money the way you want to. I'm gonna spend my money the way I want to. Just like I'm watching the NFL still. If you want to protest, by all means, brother, go protest. I'm about to watch me some football tonight. Man,
you ain't bro. You got to be for the cause, man.
I didn't buy it. I ain't spend my money on it. I'm game flying.
I'm messing with
you. There
you go.
I ain't spend no dollars on it. It's the GameFly account. So take that way you want to.
Okay, so anything else? That's it.
Let me look. I haven't played Zelda in about 2 weeks. I've been playing Horizon instead, trying to getting pretty close to finishing. When I beat Horizon, I'll probably either jump back on Zelda or get back into The Witcher so I can finish that. Probably can't finish The Witcher. I still have 2 DLCs that I haven't even started, but I probably can finish the main story and then get back to Zelda. Like I said, I'm trying to finish these single player games. I have a backlog of them, and I am actively trying to finish these things. Oh yeah, and Overwatch still. Still play that. I played that a little bit more this week than I have the past month.
Okay. I've been back on Zelda. I actually haven't downloaded the Champions Ballot. When I went and got me some eShop currency, you know how you scratching off the back to get the code? Well,
right.
I scratched and just knocked off about half the code. So I don't know if it was a damaged card or what, but as I was scratching it off, numbers were scratching off with the actual whatever that is that's covering the numbers or the code. So I had to call Nintendo, and basically they just put the money. They just put the money on my eShop so I can go download the Champion Ballot now. So what I did was I was just going through because I don't have all the shrines. Right now I'm at 70, either 76 or 70. Somebody mad upstairs. One of my twins.
Yeah, I heard somebody crying.
Yeah, somebody upset. I think grandma just left, so she is going ham. Anyway, so
I heard it again. That's funny.
Yeah. So anyway, so I started going through the shrines again. I'm at 78 or 76, one of the two. And man,
yo, how you tell? How you tell how many shrines you got?
Oh, when you on the loading screen or anything, you can look at the list of what you have accomplished. You can see how many divine beasts you've beaten. You can look at how many Korok seeds you got. You can look at how much money. Yeah, when it's loading or in between loading, you see it. Like that loading screen, just look at that, and it's all listed there, like how many shrines. So now you know it's 120 shrines. Before the champions ballot, there's 120 shrines.
Jeez, man. Let me get my sweet. I want to know how many I got because I'm probably at like 20 or something like that. If 20.
Yeah, bro. Now, I was at 69, and I went through like 7 or 8 shrines since then. And dude, I can't find these things. I don't feel like running around this map blindly looking for these shrines. So what I did was I downloaded an image of where all the shrines are.
You cheat.
I showed them. I beat the game already, so if it want me to keep playing,
you cheat.
So I downloaded an image of where all the shrines are located. It don't tell me. I still gotta find them. Because they cleverly hidden in these areas. I just know about where the shrine is. It might be under the mountain. It might be inside the mountain. It might be on top of the mountain. It might be behind this. And so I still got to locate it, but I just know where I'm in the actual vicinity of where the shrine is. So I did that. I was like, dude, I was almost tempted to go out and look for a map book to help me find all these shrines because I wanted to have all of them done before the champion ballot, before I download. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to achieve this. So when I get off the podcast tonight, since my currency is on the eShop, I'm going to go download the Breath of the Wild champions ballot tonight and see what that's all about. For what I'm hearing, it's just more shrines. I don't know if people are actually satisfied with the actual DLC. I'm going to have to leave y'all thoughts down in the comment section, man. Let us know if you're happy with the champions ballot and you know what they built it up to be. Is it living up to the hype? I haven't played it yet. Go ahead.
So that's got the motorcycle, right? That's
it's, you know, like each one of the champions got a divine beast. So what they did was, since Link doesn't have a divine beast, that's Link's divine beast. That's his divine motorcycle. Now, that's why I wanted Keith on here, because we was going to kind of talk about that. But if he jump on a little later, I'll bring the subject back up. Like, what does this mean for the future of Zelda? Like, by them introducing something like a motorcycle into the Zelda universe and learning about some of the concept art that they had before they settled on Breath of the Wild and what Breath of the Wild was going to be about. If you look at some of the concept art, Breath of the Wild has some very sci-fi, futuristic spaceship stuff like that, hints of ideas for that type of stuff. And like with them adding this motorcycle in, does this open up the landscape of possibilities of where they can go in future Zelda's games? You know, Link riding around on a motorcycle on a basic what them BMX bikes or whatever you call them. That's dirt bikes. Yeah, that's kind of like when I was watching cats do it, I was like, man, it's dope, but it's like so odd to see him basically on something that you'll see in Mario Kart. So it was pretty dope. But so yeah, I finally got the Hylian shield, and I also found the royal horse, which you don't. You'll learn about that as you progress in the storyline.
But what you just say to me? You said what? The who?
The royal family horse is a horse that belonged to or a descendant
That's
of
that
a
white horse. I be seeing old boy on Twitter riding on. What's his name?
It's the white horse. Yeah, so I went and found that. There's another horse in the game that's either a descendant of Ganon's horse or it is actually Ganon's horse. It's a big horse. And I got to get my stamina up before I can get that horse. But I've been trying to get everything that I don't have in Zelda. I also, what else did I play? Kind of fell back on LA Noire. Probably pick that back up on when I get on this Christmas break. What else did I play this week? Gear Club Unlimited. I played that, and I downloaded this other game, and I don't like it. It was only like $4.99. It was garbage. But NBA 2K18. I've been playing that.
Okay, legit.
And on the Switch, and I turned on the PlayStation, but I don't think I play anything on my station. So that's been about it, man. That's been about what I've been gaming on. Mostly Zelda. Mostly, I'm back in that Zelda mode, man. I don't know what happened. It just got me, bro. And I was like, dude, out of all the experiences I've had on the Switch, Zelda is still the best experience I've had so far. Hands down, like Zelda's been the best experience. So anyway, so let's get into some of these
topics. Game of the year, bro. It's the game of the year.
Right, let's go there. So I don't know if you caught any of the game awards with Jeff Keighley and all that. It was cool. It was cool. A little too much, a little too long. I mean, it started at 7:30 my time, our time, and it didn't end till like 11. That's a little too long for a game award. I think they could slice off at least an hour of that. Also, I think Jeff Keighley needs to let somebody else MC the event. I think Jeff Keighley just is not an exciting person. He's kind of too monotone, too nonchalant, too easygoing. He don't have no excitement in him, man. You giving a person an award, you ain't even enthusiastic. You ain't jubilee. You ain't got no bubbly attitude about it. You just, here's your award. You monotone. It's like, man, I need to get somebody else to host or MC, even though you're hosting it. Have somebody else MC it.
Didn't they have Samuel Jackson like a couple years ago?
I think Samuel Jackson had some aspects to it. I don't know. I don't know if that was a while ago.
Like maybe 4 years ago. That Samuel.
I think that's when it used to be on Spike TV.
Yeah, it was on Spike.
Yeah, but see, Spike was doing the production then.
Okay, so more money.
Yeah, more money. Yeah. I think when Spike then was doing it, yeah, the production, the writing, the scripting, all that was, you had that whole crew and Microsoft and all that basically behind the whole constructs of the show. Okay. With this being basically on Jeff Keighley's shoulder, Jeff is a great interviewer, but he's not a great show host. He's
not a showman. What you trying to say?
He ain't show. You don't have no. He just ain't got no excitement. He's just a boring, monotone guy. And I think if he kind of delegate that job to somebody else that's more like Alicia Taylor. Is that her name?
Yeah, Alicia Taylor.
Like somebody like that. Like someone who knows how to interact with the audience, who knows how to play with the, how the audience chime in and yell stuff, can kind of interact with that, know how to come off the cuff. Someone that's just a little bit more, got a little bit more zeal, a little bit more passion about what they do.
Okay.
So, but anyway, let's talk about the game that won Game of the Year. Of course, it was Zelda Breath of the Wild. A lot of folks are upset. A lot of folks feel like Horizon Zero Dawn should have won. Some feel like PUBG should have won.
Who are those people? Who
I
are
don't
them?
know. I don't know who them is. I just know it was a few upset people.
Man, they better get that beta out of here.
Yeah, I definitely don't think PUBG should have won anything. So, like, with you being able to play both,
right?
Have experienced both. Do you feel like there is an argument for Horizon Zero Dawn winning over Zelda?
I absolutely believe there is an argument worth talking about that would give Horizon the nod over Zelda. Just taking a part of the action in the game. I think, to me, the action in the game in Horizon is better than the action in Zelda. The fights, the way the enemy definitely the way the enemies react, the different type of machines you fight, different ways you can bring them down, the vulnerabilities. I mean, it's really cool. Especially, I'm getting to the parts where you're fighting these humongous monsters in Horizon, and you are at a point sometimes literally terrified of some of these things. If you get hit once, it's all over. And I do, like I said, I like the gameplay of Horizon better than I like the gameplay of Zelda. They're both bow and arrow games, but I just like the interaction with some of the stuff you could do with the freeze mechanics and the fact you can tie down machines, and you have to pay attention to the vulnerabilities. I know Zelda does have some of those aspects as well. So I'm not saying that Horizon has those and Zelda does not. What I'm saying is some of the aspects that Horizon excels at is the combat, and I would have to give the nod to them for the combat. So I think there is an argument. But if you straight up ask me which game is the best game, I'm going to tell you Zelda. I personally think Zelda is the better game. But for those things that I noted, I do think there is a conversation to be had about Horizon also being able to be. To me, it was. I gave the slight nod to Zelda, but to me, it could have went either way. To be completely honest with you, I think could have went either way. Like I said, I'm actually having more fun in Horizon than I am in Zelda, but I still think Zelda is a better game. But as far as fun wise, I'm having more fun with Horizon. Also because it probably feeds into my the way I like stuff looks, the fact that it has sci-fi aspects to it. That's probably also some of the reason why I like it a little bit more. I have more fun playing it. But like I said, I thought it was a toss up, but I did lean a little bit more towards Zelda winning Game of the Year.
Now I can't really argue. I think what you just said is a great point because you have played both, and you still, even after playing both, still give a nod to Zelda. Me personally, I haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn. I plan on playing it. I plan on getting it here at some point. But if I just go off of what I've seen of both games, just what I've seen from just watching people play both, I say there's a lot of interesting things in Horizon Zero Dawn that make me want to play it. I think it's a very eye pleasing, just a eye gouging fest of beauty. I think the combat looks very interesting. But if I were just to say what I see, just looking at the both, what I see going on in Horizon looks like similar stuff I've seen going on in other story-driven games. Whereas Zelda, even though I've seen some of those elements elsewhere as well, there's a lot of differences and especially nuances to the Zelda universe that, to me, just looking at the two, I still think Zelda, and looking at the reviews and what those who are paid to review these games, and that's their job, that's their profession, they also believe that, when you compare the two, Zelda is the better of the two. So I think the right game won. I don't know why folks get so up in arms over that. I mean, this is the first time Nintendo's took game of the year at the Game Awards with Jeff Keighley. This is the first. So, I mean, it's like Obama. We finally got one. Can we at least enjoy the fact that out of 45 presidents, we got one? So,
right.
Like that, like, yeah, can we get one? Zelda, I think Zelda deserved it. So, but let's talk about.
I do want to add something really, really quick because I've kind of explained this before, and the truth kind of asked me to what I mean about Zelda being too open. I've kind of explained this before. Is that I am not an open world person. I'm not a big fan of open world games. But finding things in Zelda, even on where to go, where things are, is 10 times harder than finding what you need to do next in Horizon. The way that they keep the quest list is so much better in Horizon. That the fact that they tell you how to get places. Like some of the issue with Zelda was with that they would say is in the northwest corner of blah blah blah, and so I have to actively look at the map, find out, put my own pin there, and then there's no GTA like GPS line guiding you kind of where to go. You just have to find it yourself. In games like Horizon, I can click what the quest is, and it'll show me on the roads how to use the roads to get there. So I'm not just wandering off. Same thing with The Witcher. If they tell you to go to the northwest corner of this particular place, that you can put your quest there, and it'll show you the roads to take to get there. You don't get that with Zelda.
Basically, Zelda is not well. Okay, let me flip it. So basically, Horizon Zero Dawn even is very linear in its approach to.
No.
Wait. Finish.
No. It's not. It's not the fact.
It's linear in its approach to navigation, meaning you can go off the beaten path if you want to, but there is linear enough to where you know exactly where you got to go next.
To me, that's not linear. To me,
I'm not saying the game.
No. I'm not talking.
Okay,
about
go ahead.
That aspect. That aspect is not linear, but it does guide you on how to continue the story. To me, it's not. I wouldn't classify it as linear, but it does show you how to continue the quest that you're doing. And the fact that, to me, Zelda is not friendly when it comes to stuff like that. You just have to find out. Like when you're trying to find out where those pictures are in the map, there's you got to talk to people, and they give you a general area maybe. But it took me, I think 45, wait a minute, like 3 hours to line up to find where one of those places were. I was in the area, but to be 3 hours to find out the exact location of that picture. I'm like, and
on that memory, you talk about the memory?
Memory. I'm like, man, this is boring. Like, I'm not playing the game. I am just trying to find where this picture, where this location of this image actually is. To me, that is a wasted 3 hours to me. That is not fun to me.
So it's too chory. That's too chory. That's grinding to you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And that's openness though, because it's not guiding you exactly where to go. It's openness. It say, hey, explore our world and find it. I don't care about all that.
See, I like that because previous Zeldas is like what you describing with Horizon. Previous Zeldas, that's why I say it's linear, because the game tells you exactly where you need to go. No, the world is not linear, but there's very little off-beating paths that you can take in Horizon, meaning it ain't much you can do outside of what the game is wanting you to do. There's not much beyond that to do, even though, it might be a big enough field where you can explore things and find a few things, but it ain't like Zelda where you can literally go south and continue south for, like you said, 3-4 hours, and where you got to go maybe north, getting lost for 3-4 hours going north. It ain't like that in Horizon. and it ain't like that in previous Zeldas. Whereas,
but the thing is, it's definitely in The Witcher. It's like that. The thing is,
I know it's like that in The Witcher. I know it's like that in The Witcher.
I like to have both. Like, well, can you give me both? Because in The Witcher, like, I would have a direct path, and I cut you off, so I want you to remember what you were about to say, because I kind of cut you off. Well, in The Witcher, I spend so much time doing side quests trying to get to my quest, but I still had the option to follow the path directly to my location. But I would see something and say, "Ooh, what is that over there? Ooh, what is that over there?" And I'm done doing side quests, but it gave me both. It gave me that direct path to go where I need to go, and it gave me the ooh, what is that? So I can do either one I wanted, and that's what I'm saying. And
that's kind of how previous Zeldas are. There is a straight, direct. This is where you need to go. You got to go to. And matter of fact, if you like in one particular Zelda, if you went the wrong way and triggered something before you did this, it can literally break the game. I think that was Skyward Sword. They finally fixed the glitch, but they gave you some freedom in what particular dungeons you beat in whatever order. But in the creation, they did have an ideal of what dungeons they wanted you to beat first, and if you went out of that sequence, it would break the game for some people because you wouldn't have something you needed for the next dungeon. I think they had to go in and fix it, or they told you the order to do it in so that you can avoid the game-breaking glitch. Okay. It was something like that in Skyward Sword. I thankfully did it in the order that the ideas with the creators wanted you to, but you didn't have to do it in that order. So I know what you're talking, and in Skyward Sword, in most Zelda games, you can still go do a lot of side quest stuff that ain't pertaining to the main driven storyline. But in Breath of the Wild, you're right. They just throw you in the world and say, find it. And I'm not going to front. It was overwhelming at first. It took me so long just to find Impa. Like, it took me forever because I was like, where do I go? How do I get there? And the map was so big. And I was like, okay, they didn't tell you anything. They didn't tell you when Impa told me to leave and go to the Zora, to go see the Zoros or whatever. I didn't, and she told me where to go verbally, but there was nothing on my map to tell me what path I need to take to get there.
Right.
But as I kept playing, I learned, okay, so there is roads that will lead you to each place. You just got to research the map enough to learn. If I come out and I stay on this map, if I got a horse, the horse will just stay on the path until I get there. So, yeah, I feel you. I still found it way more enjoyable, them forcing me to learn the map, them forcing me to remember stuff, them forcing me to mark the map up so that I can remember it. It made it personal. It made my experience unique and personal to me. So how you figured out how to get there was totally different than probably how I got there.
Right.
Right. So I like that, but I do agree. Certain things in the game could have been a little bit more straightforward, lead me there. But I agree. I feel you in something.
Yeah, because different gamers like different things, and that's why to me, The Witcher is probably one of the best games ever made. It's because it gives you it appeals. It's almost no type of player that The Witcher doesn't appeal to. Like it fits almost every mode, and it's about as close to a perfect open world game as you can get. I mean, I'll be completely honest with you. This person who still haven't finished the game, by the way, but there is no other single player game I have played as much as The Witcher. Point blank. Yeah, and then I'm still going back to it.
See, and like I said, the reason I didn't even buy Witcher was because I was fearful that I wouldn't be able to handle the massive world that exists in that game. But after playing Breath of the Wild, it's like, okay, if I can handle that, I might be able to handle the menus and all the different potions and all the different stuff that you got in that game as well. I know it's more in detailed and more advanced
you better
than Zelda.
You better look at YouTube videos of the story before you get into that bad boy, because The Witcher acts like you've been reading the books.
Yeah. So let's go into another topic, though. You brought up something when you was talking about what you've been gaming on, and you was talking about the single player experience. Well, I know you said you didn't see the game awards, but there was a lot of jabs thrown at EA based around the whole, EA had the whole thing about gamers are not into single player gameplay anymore. And, multiplayer is where it's at. Well, there was a commercial that Jeff Keighley done put together where
I did see that. I did.
Okay, you saw that.
Yeah.
And you had, a lot of jabs at microtransactions and stuff like that. So, but let's talk about this single player, these jabs thrown at the ideal of single player being a dead in the water aspect of gaming. I didn't know how real or serious that was for EA. I thought that was I didn't think it went as deep as I'm seeing that it goes. Like, now that I look at their games, they really are trying to basically write out single player. They in their games, they're trying to wipe out the single player experience, pretty much. And I know, as for me, even though I like some multiplayer games, I am basically a single player gamer. I like personal experiences. I like Zelda. Give me Zelda where I'm in the universe. I ain't got to interact with nobody. Give me the controller. Tell me what I'm supposed to do. Let me figure it out and get out of my way. I like that. I like the God of Wars. I like the Uncharted, single player driven, storyline driven games. And I didn't realize how much EA was trying to do away with the single player experience. What's your thoughts on that? Like, do you feel like it was needed, this, where they was jabbing at EA and that ideal of, trying to go mostly multiplayer? Like, do you feel like this conversation need to be had more and more in gaming?
Yeah. We've seen an exodus of single player since the PS3 days. To be completely honest with you, we have seen an exodus of companies making an effort to even make single player games. I mean, there used to be single player games that used to come out all the time. You remember EA used to do Dead Space, but if you remember what happened to Dead Space 3, is that they made it a co-op experience.
So that's what killed it?
No. I'm not saying that actually killed it. What I'm saying is that you at the end of the PS3, Xbox 360 lifespan, you start to see them change their single players experiences. You start to see that and start to lean to more multiplayer experience games. And so, to me, that this conversation does really need to happen, because they are in EA, definitely EA, but I think industry wide has been moving towards multiplayer experience. The main reason why they're moving towards multiplayer experience is because of what EA said a while ago. Is the continuous people playing your game. Overwatch does this better than anybody. Overwatch is still selling for $30 bucks, $30 bucks. And the game has been out for 2 years now. And it's still selling about 30 bucks. Normally games like that have dropped well under 30 bucks. Especially multiplayer. You can pick up Call of Duties for like 10 bucks. But they're doing what they can to keep the player base and keep people continuously playing their game. And the problem with single players is that you don't get that. And also you don't get the ability to gouge your consumers. like you can with multiplayers. Multiplayers, if people are constantly playing, if you introduce a new weapon, a new gun, or something brand new, people have to spend time either unlocking it or spending money to go get it. And single player, you don't really have that unless you drop DLCs. What up?
I thought the DLC was supposed to extend.
DLC does not make the money that the multiplayers make on a constant basis. Understand that sometimes, about time they drop that last DLC, which is usually a year after the single player is out, a lot of people have already turned in their game.
Traded it in, basically.
Yeah, they already turned it in. That's why they start doing season pass to guarantee they get the money, even if you turn your game in. So that user base drops off faster than that multiplayer user base because it's a single player, and if you're dropping DLCs every quarter, they spend a month playing it, and then they're not getting anything else for another 3 months. About that time, something else hot may come out, and they may
on to the
trade
next
your game.
They on to the next. Yeah, they on to the next one, basically.
Yeah, and that's why the multiplayer consistent. People keeping them playing generates more revenue than the single player experience DLCs.
But see, they basically unkilled that template as well. When you're looking at games like Destiny 2, you're looking at games like Battlefront and all the other games that's basically built around that whole ideal of keeping you gaming and basically milking you for extra money before a gun and for some type of gear or whatever. Like, they have now basically damaged that model, would you say? Outside of the Overwatches, like what other game is, and PUBG, I guess. I don't know since PUBG is still in beta, I guess, or what they call that? Access.
Early access.
Early access. We really can't critique the final offering. So, like, looking at what they're doing now with microtransactions, I don't know how much longer that's going to be, welcomed by gamers.
So the multiplayer experience will still be there, but how they get the money from the users for the multiplayer experience is going to have to change.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about.
If you remember when Call of Duty 4 blew up, that was one of the Halo was the first huge multiplayer online game that blew up. Halo was one of the big ones, but with Call of Duty also showed people at the beginning stages how to make money with multiplayers, which is DLC packs and maps. It was maps. And so that was the first stab at it, and they made good money with that, and they kept people playing it. I mean, I believe I played it for 2 years because it was fresh, it was new. But when you put out a new Call of Duty every year, fresh and new becomes is a smaller window. So I don't think they've alienated the audience with the loot boxes because they're just going to regroup. I think that way of the loot boxes has been alienated, and they're not going to be able to use that form. But they're definitely going to come back in another way to find a way to get money from consumers.
Now, what's the game that came out that I think EA just bought? It was with the Mets. Titanfall. I just had it in my head. Now, wasn't Titanfall designed around the ideal of getting like a single player experience in a multiplayer world?
Yes and no.
Explain, because I faintly remember them talking about how even though it's multiplayer, you can still get the story driven. Like, did it have a storyline?
That was the first Titanfall.
Okay, the first Titanfall, right?
The first Titanfall did not have an actual story mode. It had a single player aspect of it, but it was tied to multiplayer matches. So it wasn't a real single player experience because you still had to be online to play it.
Right. I mean, what I mean. Well, let me rephrase what I'm
cool.
asking, because I think this is what Destiny is trying to do too. I think the ideal is trying to merge what you would get in a single player game into a multiplayer universe where
Yes.
most people like me. All right. I want the story. I want to know. I don't just want to jump in the game and I'm just sniping you or shooting you down, and I don't get gratification out of that. Like, it's fun for a second, but running around this map, gunning each other, like I was watching you play Call of Duty. And I'm gonna be honest, like, that's why I don't care for them type of games. Like, that just don't appeal to me. Running around this map, respawning, shooting this person, get shot, respawn, run over here, cap this person, get capped, respawn, and then, oh, my team won. Like, that ain't fun to me. You know what I'm saying? That's a waste of time. Ain't no story. It ain't intriguing. It ain't nothing opening up to me. But I like when I'm sitting down and a story and a twist in the story, or a plot twist, or something happen over here, or a character get killed. So I think that's what Destiny was trying to accomplish, was to add storyline elements, single player elements into a multiplayer universe. I don't know if they succeeded, but that's what I think they're trying to.
Destiny did do that. Destiny did that, and a lot of people follow the same trend. That's what the Division also did. Is that you can either play those story missions, you can play it solo, or you can play it with friends. You can actually do both. Same thing with Destiny. You can play those story missions solo, or you can have a buddy tag along.
And I think cats hated on Division, man, because I think the Division was better than Destiny. That just be my honest opinion. But I played both. I think I enjoyed the Division more than I enjoyed. I ain't like Destiny at all, to be honest with you. So, yeah. But go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they've been trying to do, is tie both of those together. That was the biggest thing going into the PS4, and I actually said a long time ago. It's called Persistent World, where they blend the lines between single player and multiplayer. EA, that was really what EA tried to do at the beginning of the PS4 and the Xbox One stages, was that persistent world. The first Need for Speed in this generation had that. It was both online and single player. The game The Crew that Activision did was the same thing. It was both single player and multiplayer.
That Activision was that Ubisoft.
You know what? What's Ubisoft? Thank you for correcting. Okay. It was both active. It was both single player. Like, that was persistent world. That was all the raid. Even Far Cry is doing that now, and their new version of Far Cry. It's both single player and multiplayer. I believe I think 4 did it as well. And that's a new thing. That's what they're doing. But that doesn't, again, it's still not the single player experience that you come to love. I mean, I think Halo 5 did it as well, where people can jump in. It was the jump in, jump out, the jump in, jump out co-op. That was at the end of the early PS4 days. That was the big thing to do.
Well, I mean, my thing, like you said, they still haven't perfected it, because I think they still leaning too much on focusing too much on the multiplayer aspects. To me, if they did what you just said, like, okay, take the Halo 5 ideal, make an actual good game, because Halo 5 just wasn't a good game. I mean, is it Halo 5 or Halo? Was it Halo 5?
I thought that was Halo 5 that had the that's that Nathan
Master Chief. They was chasing after Master Chief.
He went rogue with something. Yeah.
Okay. So that's Halo 5. So if you take that, to me, Halo 5 did have a single player feel, even though multiplayer features was interwoven into it, to where I could have the co-op of friends still enjoying a single player or a story-driven story. I think they went story first over multiplayer, whereas everything else is multiplayer with a tacked on story. Like, I think that's why, and I don't want to stay on this too long, I think that's why Destiny really doesn't work, because it's a tacked on story. It's not focused around the story. Like, I remember John Shaw was talking about it didn't even have a real ending to it. Like, it was, go ahead.
It was a true single player story. Like, it actually was. The problem was it was a terrible story.
Right. That's why I say it's tacked on, because it's horrible.
Actually work right. Like, if it was, like, say, if it was a single player game, you probably would have finished it in 5 hours and been looking at the game like, what is this?
Right. Now, okay, we got to move on, because there's other stuff I want to bring up with you. Could you imagine, just think about this, K-Bomb, could you imagine a multiplayer game with the storyline quality of a Uncharted 2 or Uncharted 4 or God of War 3?
To be honest,
that would be nuts, man.
Wait. To be completely honest with you, that is what EA is trying to do with No Way Out.
Man, forget EA. EA is not a good candidate. We love EA. EA is fired.
To me, EA is not a terrible game maker. Where they mess up
they're not a terrible game maker. They just a terrible company.
Oh, there we go. What they mess up is when they get money hungry and they try to gouge people. Like, to me, that's where their problem is. But the people who work, there's some really good people who work at EA. They are really dedicated to what they do.
They got some good slaves up in there. Yeah, they got some good slaves.
But if you actually take a look at No Way Out, I believe the name of it, they are actually trying to do that very same thing.
That's not EA. That's
that is EA.
But EA is what's the word? Publishing it. But the dude that was at the Game Awards basically said, he basically jumped on EA.
I'm sorry. If EA is paying you and giving you money, that's EA. They are putting their money behind this.
They putting their money behind his vision. It's not their vision.
And the same thing what they did with the freaking what's the name of that company? The group Visceral, yeah. They put their money behind that and they snatched it from them because it wasn't going to do what they wanted.
Right, but that's my point. When they get a hold of it, it doesn't maintain what it was.
I agree, but what I'm saying is that at any point EA could do the same thing to him. That's what I'm saying.
I believe that, yeah. But again, we would get a chance to experience his vision through EA dollars. We get a chance to experience his vision of what a multiplayer game could be like with a story-driven narrative to it. Because I forgot about that No Way Out. Basically, it is a story-driven co-op game. And I believe that's definitely a template for the future, because if I can sit down with you and we going through a story-driven game and we figuring out these plots together and we both get that, it's like watching a movie together, but it's interactive.
Right.
And you know how that go when you sit down with your wife and a twist happened in the movie. You like, did you catch that? Oh, so that's what happened. That can literally happen in video games if it's done right. Hopefully, this dude is doing it right. I think he was a little tipsy or drunk or high or something. Jeff Keighley was totally couldn't control him.
Right.
But what else I want to bring up before we move on? Dang it. Was there anything else in the Game Awards that I wanted to talk about? Oh, yeah.
I see you got Bayonetta 3. I see you got down here.
Yeah, we kind of missed that. I'm excited for Bayonetta. Cool. We could talk about that when Keith here.
Yeah, so go ahead.
What did you think about? Because I'm gonna talk about another game that showed up that I was shocked. Soul Calibur.
Yeah, Soul Calibur's back.
Yeah. What you think?
Man, I'm sorry.
Man,
Man,
you didn't think it was dope?
Man, I was never a Soul Calibur fan.
Bro, I'm more of a Soul Calibur fan than Tekken.
Never been a fan, bro.
You missing out, man.
Arcade, I played in arcade. That was about it.
You missing out, man. You totally absolutely missing.
I like hand-to-hand combat, man. I've said this on many occasions. I like hand-to-hand combat. I'm not big on the projectiles and weapons. It's hand-to-hand combat for me.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I will say this about Bayonetta 3. That is a good acquisition. That is a good game to have another exclusive with that title in on the Switch. That was pretty dope. I'm curious where they going, because if you look at the footage, basically Bayonetta don't look like she enjoying what's going on. Like normally when you see Bayonetta, she's in control. You never see Bayonetta in a situation where she's not under control. Clearly, whatever is taking place, Bayonetta is overwhelmed by whatever she's facing off against. And the fact that it literally, her legs, if you look at how her legs fall, they literally cut. Like he either cut the legs off or it was something weird. Like one leg fell to the left, one leg fell to the right. I don't know if it was just for the cinematics of the preview, or is there something, and I know it got to be something, a hint at something that they want us to pay attention to, like the blood moon, the ribbon floating in the sky, Bayonetta looking like she's under dire stress, and then Bayonetta basically getting demolished by this image, this power finks or whatever it is. This storyline, like, it might be good, man. There's some. I like Bayonetta 2. I still got to play Bayonetta 1, but I like Bayonetta 2. But there's some aspects about the story, and there's aspects about certain things in the game I would change that I think would make the game a little bit better. If they took out certain things, it'll make the game a lot better. And if they made her a little bit more weighty, I feel like Bayonetta moves on her own. Sometimes I don't even feel like I'm even controlling her. That's how fast and loose. You ever played with Maxie in Soul Calibur?
Nope.
Have you ever played? Well, you play with Law in Tekken, right?
Yeah.
You know how Law sometimes his moves are already changed to other moves, and he gonna do it whether you trigger it or not. Mm-hmm. Bayonetta got some of that going on where a lot of her moves feel like you're not doing it. And I like it, but I don't like that. I like a little bit more heaviness, a little bit more weightiness to my character. But the storyline, like, it's going to be dope, man. But I see a lot of people crying about that too. So it's like, dude, why can't people just be happy when Nintendo do something great, man? Why folks get upset? They win Game of the Year, folks get upset. They get Bayonetta exclusive, they get upset. Like, come on, man. Can you just tilt your hat and be thankful and happy that they doing good? So that was interesting. So let's move on though, because I want to talk about something. Now, you said you didn't see the PlayStation experience, right?
I saw the first 45 minutes of it. The first 30 minutes, like the first 3-4 guests.
Okay.
But that was about it.
All right.
Yeah. The God of War guy, I think, was the last guy I saw.
Okay, we're going to talk about God of War. That's the game I want to talk about. But can I make a critique, man? Look, I have nothing against the Sony people. But can we stop pulling these dudes out here, putting them in young, youthful clothes, and trying to make like, dude, come on, man. These dudes, you can tell this is nothing that you would wear. You got your pants folded up with the too tight pants on. Here this 50-something, 60-year-old man who you can just look at his face, his hairstyle. Dude, this is not you. Who are you selling it to? Who are you fooling with what y'all selling us? Y'all look awkward. Y'all look like y'all uncomfortable. y'all didn't have y'all didn't have y'all dialogue worked out.
Oh, man.
Y'all didn't have y'all scripts together. It was all over the place. Y'all looked distracted. That's how I know y'all didn't have a script. That's why I knew y'all was heel-toeing it, because the crowd distracted y'all every time they said something they got threw off. So that means you don't know where to go next, and you just pulling stuff out your behind. So, like, can we stop trying to sell these dudes as cool dudes? Can they just be business dudes?
Well, they gotta appeal to the demographic that they're selling the games to.
No, they don't. They don't have to appeal. K-Bomb.
Hey, well, I'm saying what they think they feel like they need to appeal to the demographic that they're selling their games to, and so the way we do that is we put them in what they consider young and hip clothes.
So
the one thing I did see that I actually did like the some of those gaming shirts, like that Horizon Zero Dawn shirt the guy had. I thought that was a cool shirt.
It wasn't nothing wrong with the shirts themselves. The problem was who the shirt was on. It just didn't work.
No, like the Horizon Zero Dawn one was cool because I mean that's the creator of Horizon Zero Dawn. I thought that was cool. The other one, I was like, somebody gave you that shirt.
I'm talking about the first dude, the fat face dude that replaced
the first two dudes who were talking.
Yeah, them two dudes. I'm not talking about everybody else that came.
Yeah.
Them two dudes.
Yeah, okay. There we go.
These dudes, they don't dress like this. Especially the new fat face dude that replaced whatever the guy that used to be there. The I don't know who what was the guy that retired that used to do most of the talking for Sony at E3 and stuff like that.
It wasn't Trenton. Jack Trenton? I ain't talking about Jack Trenton.
I think I might be talking about Jack Trent.
Jack.
Jeff or Jack?
Jack Trenton. But I don't know. Maybe what? I don't know.
Yeah, well, this fat-faced, dark-haired dude that was on the stage that's heavy up top and thin legs.
Thin legs.
Look like something off of he looked like Despicable Me with hair. That's what he looked like to me. Like this dude is just lame, man. It's like, stop putting this dude up. He don't have the look. He don't have the charisma. He don't have the spunk. He don't have nothing. It's like, and then when you put him in young clothes and they too tight, and he's sitting up there and he trying to come off like he hip, like, stop it. I'm not buying this. Ain't nobody here buying this. And another thing, and I'm going to leave it alone. Can Sony fans stop being overly zealous with the cheers? They was cheering stuff that didn't even deserve the cheer.
Let the Sony fans be, because you like I said, I would never not you in particular, but Nintendo fans, I would never let you guys.
I get on us too. I would never
let you live it down that you were bananas on a title screen. Never. I will never let that moment down. I
didn't let us live it down either. So I called us out on it. I would never. I don't have no problem. I don't have no problem because I called that out.
Not even a screenshot. It's a title screen that says "in the." Not a moving picture.
All we got is a font. A font with four. Yeah, but dude, I was getting so annoyed with the presentation. Not the games, the presentation and the fake cheers. What made me stop watching? Like, I didn't even know it was on, and I tried to watch it. I caught about 35, 40 minutes, and then I just started skipping through trying to find out what was there. But let's talk about this that I found very interesting, though, because they showed a lot of stuff. I don't know all what they showed. I couldn't endure. From what the assessment or the feelings across the board was, the show is extremely boring and forgettable, and people tuned out. That's basically what happened. Listening to you basically tuned out. I tuned out.
I tuned out. I don't watch that stuff anyway, but I tuned out. It was boring.
Yeah, we all tuned out. So that was basically the consensus across most gamers who watched the game and experience the PlayStation experience. Most folks tuned out, just skipped and watched the highlights that was uploaded on YouTube. But this stuck out to me, man. I thought this was very intriguing. The new God of War is like almost 20 to 30 hour long game.
Yes, I did hear him say that, and I was like, "What?"
That's different because most God of Wars is no more than 10 to 12 hours.
It's about 12. It's about 10. Yeah, you're right. 10, 12. Yeah, you're right.
Somewhere like that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And that seems pretty much appropriate for that type of a game. I think Ascension was actually even less. I think I beat Ascension in like 7 hours.
I didn't play that still. I haven't played that.
Yeah, you ain't missing nothing, man. It's I think the first stage is the best stage. Everything beyond the first stage was whack. It was just, if you just want to see the storyline. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Do I want to play a game like that for 30 hours? Like, do you think that's too much for a God of War game?
Maybe a previous God of War game, but looking at this story of this game, I would play this. I would play this game for 20, 30 hours. Looking at the story.
That's the only reason.
And how? Well, that's the only reason I play games that long. If it's not for first person shoot. For a single player game, the only way I would play a game that long is the story has me got. Otherwise, I zone out and I'm done. And looking at that story, I'm got. That to me, that's the best part of this game for right now. The action looks good, but that story just has me just drooling.
Let me ask you this: How long was Last of Us?
Not good enough story. Never finished it.
Well, okay, I finished it. In the comments, if anybody played The Last of Us, how long was the game? I would say The Last of Us was I beat that in about 18 hours, I think. I don't think it was nowhere near 30. How long was The Last of Us game, the length of the game was supposed to be? If anyone down in the comments can answer that.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm going to come back. Answer that for us, because I think, like, to me, the reason I'm bringing up The Last of Us, because I believe The Last of Us, or I could bring up Uncharted 4. How long was Uncharted 4?
It was, I think it was around, I think 14 though, wasn't it? It was a little bit longer.
I would say a little bit longer. I think it was about 20. I think it was about 18 to 20 hours.
Yeah. I'm about to say 14.
And I'm gonna tell you, that story started to get like, let's wrap this up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to a let's wrap this up, people moment in Uncharted 4. I don't think it helped me for that type of intense story. Like, when you look at The Witcher is a different type of storytelling. It's not like what Sony has mastered in their storytelling styles. Like, it ain't God of War. It ain't Uncharted. It ain't, I would say, even like how Horizon Zero Dawn looks from afar. It looked like it follows that same template that Sony has mastered in storytelling. A good 15 hours is perfect for that type of intense story. You get it in, you get plot twists, you get to the climax, you have another twist, then a conclusion, right? That's how most of the stories go. 30 hours? That's going to be, unless they tell it like how Witcher is telling it, or like Zelda did theirs, that's a long time to be playing a story. I don't know if they got enough story that can last that long.
I still think at this point we're doing a lot of speculation here.
I'll speculate.
A lot of speculation that we know how they're telling this story, because we really don't know how they're telling the story. There is some pure speculation. You're going off of past history.
Yeah, I'm just going off of Sony's past style story and looking at how they. But I'll say this, K-Bomb. Looking at the game and then looking at all what Sony has done with all their first-party offerings, this storyline looks like The Last of Us meets God of War.
I don't.
It looked like that to me. It don't look like The Witcher.
No. I mean, no. I don't like. No, it's not The Witcher. You know, I don't. It's not The Witcher. And to me, that's like comparing a player and saying he's not Michael Jordan. I've already said I think The Witcher is probably one of the best games ever made. So no, it's definitely not The Witcher, but I still think it's a superior storytelling to a lot of other games.
No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I agree.
And the thing is, you have to have a balance of being able to do that. What makes a game not able to keep its legs is also the variety of locations that you're at. Because if you're at a location for too long, telling a very similar story, that part gets kind of makes you want to hurry it up, so you can get to a point. Now, Uncharted 4 tried to do this by giving you different locations, but there was some parts that kind of drug out in there. But I still think that they can be able to give you that, because I've never played a God of War and say, "Hey, let's get this done." Granted, like I said, it's only about 12. Granted, it's only about 12. I was always left wanting more.
I would say this: when I look at The Witcher, I think what allows The Witcher to last hundreds of hours, or games like Skyrim, is the multiple choice element to it. The fact that they're playing on you, are like L.A. Noir, that you have choices. You know, the story can go down multiple paths depending on how you answer this question or what choice you choose. Like when I was watching you play The Witcher, it was a few choices in the way that you could have answered the question. Like when you was talking about an old fling and your new girl was sitting at the table, and the choice was like, if you gave you answer in a way, depending on how you answer it, could have set her off. I think telling a story like that allows a game of that length to be able to do that because of the multiple choice. Whereas a story is a straightforward story, you really don't have no say in the story. All you do is trigger the story to begin to be told for 30 hours. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like Uncharted 4. Spots just drug on because I feel like the storyline didn't warrant the amount of hours that the game needed you to play. That's why I feel like stuff drug. That's why I feel like the parts where you running through his memories just stuck out like a sore thumb, because it didn't warrant. The storyline didn't warrant you needing to do all this.
Now, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit about The Witcher.
Okay. Go ahead.
And what I'm going to say is that, to me, it's not the idea of choice that makes that game worth the 180 some hours that it is. What makes that game long enough for what it is the fact that each side quest feels like a main story quest. To me, that is why I'm still playing the game, because I start down the path of one side quest and it's just as rich as a main story quest. Just as rich.
Okay.
And to me, and so I spent 4 or 5 hours on a side quest. And it wasn't even a main story side quest. And
it was like a story within a story.
It's a story within a story. And I turned back like crap. I just spent 4 hours and I haven't even progressed the main story like I said I was going to do today. To me, that is what allowed The Witcher to be worth every last second.
Okay. All right. That's okay. I didn't think about that. I was just saying how they do the multiple choice, how you interact.
Right.
Even in the side quest, there's interaction. Whereas in Uncharted, the story is the story. It ain't no side quest you can do.
But we don't know that yet.
We will. You're right. Maybe
we don't know that yet.
Okay. So let's end on that, because that's all basically that stood out to me with the PlayStation experience. So let's move on. So Nintendo has sold 10 million Switches in under 9 months.
Bum, 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 bum. Oh, I celebrate. I thought you were celebrating.
was perfect timing. Also, 3, and I got this wrong on my video, and I apologize. I thought Splatoon was a part of that conversation, but 3 of their titles are selling at a 50% attachment rate, meaning for every 2 Switches sold, 3 of these games are in the purchase with one of the systems. So that means these 3 games have already sold over 5 million copies. And Splatoon 2 has sold 2.5 million copies. So what do you think of this accomplishment with the Switch? What does this mean? What is this suggestion or saying to you?
I've still been trying to piece it all together because to me, it shows me that they were successful at giving gamers an alternative to what was already out there and being able to capitalize on what is being considered at this point mobile gaming or gaming on the go. Because a lot of people that I see who compliment the Switch compliments it on its ability to game on the go. So that tells me that they found a piece in the market that they could capitalize on, which is giving console level gaming on the move. And the way that it's been selling, that tells me that they have been successful at doing just that. Even without, all the major stuff going with it, it's just it fits the criteria that some people identify as, I want to get this console because it gives me this, it gives me A, it gives me B. And they found what it is and they've capitalized on it. And they're, selling, making money off of it, which is excellent because they tried to do that with the Wii U, and they kind of missed the mark because they were trying to be something that they really weren't, which is hardcore. And they said this year, we're not really. I mean, we're going to allow you to have that experience. We're not going to focus on the hardcore. We're going to give you this portable thing, which is kind of our niche, our go-to, which is mobile gaming or portable gaming, however way you wanted to word that. So I think they found that they've accomplished a grand feat, which is console level gaming on the go without too much being sacrificed. These like I said, to me, these games on the Switch in handheld mode look much better to me than on the dock mode. I explained to you about the texture issues that I had with Zelda. But to me, I didn't see any of that issue until I went big screen.
And I would say when you try some other games on the Switch, you'll probably change your thoughts on that. I think Zelda is one of the ones that do actually is true to what you're saying, though. Zelda does. Once you put it on the big screen, you can see those jaggies.
Splatoon looks good big screen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Most games, it's the opposite. But Zelda is the one that really does. Yeah, it does what you say. It says most, even down to the reviews of it. Many people did say that they thought it looked better on the actual on the how would you say undocked look better than docked. Yeah, undocked or handheld look better than docked visuals. Go ahead though.
No, that was pretty much my assessment of that.
Okay. Let me say this: when you brought up the Wii U, I would say the problem with the Wii U really was because the Switch is basically the ideal of the Wii U realized. One of the issues with the Wii U was the fact that you really could not take your gamepad too far away from the system. Like me, and you've been in my house, you've been in my man cave, you know where my man cave restroom is. It ain't that far from the Switch. I mean, the Wii U, but I couldn't get to my restroom from my Wii U and continue to play. It would lose signal. I couldn't go upstairs. It would lose signal. I couldn't walk into the laundry room, literally a wall away. maybe maybe 5 feet away from the switch, 10 feet at the most, and I could not get a signal. So I think that's what the idea was there. The realization of it, the realizing of it was not there. And I think with the Switch, they realized the idea of what they had with the Wii U. The Switch is literally that, and what the Wii U should have been, the Switch is. What do you think about? Because to me, I'm gonna get my thoughts on the 10 million after you answer this question. What do you think about Sony saying that they can no longer ignore the Switch?
I think that's a valid answer. I don't know how they were ignoring it anyway. I would kind of really want to see that comment because I don't know the contents.
Well, it was
the contents of that comment.
Well, I would say this: the interviewer wasn't even asking them about the Switch. The person, I can't remember, it was one of the presidents or CEOs or COOs or whatever of Sony, brought up the Switch on their own. They weren't even asked about the Switch, and it was like talking about, because Sony sold good over this Black Friday. They announced that they supposedly sold 10 million in 6 months, which I think is a little fabrication going on there. But that's me. I think Sony embellishing some of those numbers.
I think that may be you, because
I think they are.
Because they I have many stories of many people saying they could not find a PlayStation after Black Friday.
I believe that. I'm talking about, because 10 million in 6 months goes beyond Black Friday. I'm talking about the 6 months of 10 million. I don't know.
They do have 2 SKUs out there.
Yeah.
And they are selling 2 different ones, and they just sold 2 million on the
I wonder if that sold is really shipped. That's what
I know Nintendo at the very beginning was saying whatever number, but they were actually saying shipped. It was actually shipped.
Yeah, they were saying shipped, and now they say it's sold.
Now they can say sold, but I don't know.
Yeah, they can say sold. I don't know.
It was shipped at first.
That's beside the point. That's just something I had to throw it in there. Anyway, Keith would have been with me on that. But yeah, I think it was I don't know the context fully, because it came out of nowhere, because it wasn't in that questioning. The question wasn't even about the Switch. They was talking about their sales. They was talking about the future. And then out of nowhere in the conversation, the person's like, and we can no longer ignore the Switch and what the Switch is doing in the sales of the Switch. So it was basically like, oh yeah, and we see what the Switch is doing. So I don't know what triggered it. I don't know what question that person asked that caused the person to say this about the Switch. Because I read the article, but it wasn't no question asked about the Switch, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, to me, this just proves that the 10 million is proven to me that Nintendo has found the sweet spot in gaming that they can really exploit if they keep their head on straight. If they do all the things they need to do. Like I was saying in my video this morning, they got to get online right. To continue this success, online has to be right. You see what I'm saying? You can't blotch the online services if they want to sustain the success. They got to keep bringing games out like they're bringing. We haven't had a drought at all this year in gaming. Like each month, we have had something from Nintendo that we can play, whether it was a port from the Wii U, which is warranted in some cases, or something exclusive to the Wii U, like the Mario versus Rabbids. Then we got Orms, and then we got Splatoon 2, and then each month we had a game to cover that month that was a first-party exclusive. Just like we got on this month, we got what was that? Xenoblade 2. So Nintendo has to continue to release games at that same pace. If they can maintain that and get their online services, I think by the end of next year, we could probably be looking at 25 to 30 million Switches sold. You got anything to say about that? You muted. I don't know if you distracted right now or not.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm choking over here. Hold on.
All right. I think if Nintendo can reproduce what they produced this year, like this year was a great year, but we all know that success is when you can remanufacture what was currently done. That's how you're successful. When you can recreate what made you successful. Like you don't go to Burger King and get a good burger and then come back and they don't know how to reproduce that burger. They successful because they know how to continue to give you that quality of a burger. Nintendo has to give you what they gave us this year and more next year. And I believe if they can sustain that success, if they can recreate and remanufacture what they've done this year, we could be looking at 30 by the end of next year.
That's a little aggressive.
Think so?
That's a little aggressive.
Well, look at let me qualify before you jump in. The reason I say that is if you go back and you look at the PlayStation 2, the second year dang near doubled the first year. And the first year sold like 10 to 11 million on this PlayStation 2. And then the second year is skyrocketed. PlayStation 4, the first year was like 10 to 14. Second year skyrocketed. Wii the same way. So Nintendo is trending like those platforms are trending. I don't see why it won't, now that folks really see that this is here to stay, we could see even bigger boom next year. That's what I'm saying. If Nintendo can maintain this.
Okay. Yeah, I see your point. I don't know if I agree, but I see your point.
Okay.
I'm sorry over here. My just wife just got some dinner. So yeah, I can see them increasing their numbers, but I think you were talking about those games, keeping those games coming, and this is where third party helps. It doesn't put the strain on first party games or even second party games to keep that coming. That's what third party, when you have stuff like Doom and Wolfenstein and Skyrim that can come in and support and can continue to give you good games to your consoles well after or even in between some of your major first party releases. And as long as Nintendo can continue to secure these third party games and continue to find ways to, I would say, motivate these developers to make game publishers to make games for the system, they're going to continue to be successful with the Switch.
Okay, I agree. Let me ask you this, and I know you are new to the Nintendo family, right? Because of your newfound relationship,
right,
with your Switch. So you're not as familiar with the library or portfolio of of Nintendo, right? You ain't familiar with certain games, right?
Now I wouldn't say I'm not familiar. I'm saying I don't play them.
Okay, so you familiar with the Pokemons, the Smash Bros?
Yep.
Okay, so let's look at it. Pokemon is already been confirmed to be coming to the Switch. A ground up Pokemon title has been confirmed for the Switch.
Right.
Now we don't know if it's coming this year or next year. We don't know when it's coming. I would bet, I'll put all my money on it coming this year. At some point, it'll probably be the holiday title. If it's not the holiday title, then it'll be Metro Prime 4 be the holiday title. Smash Bros. I thought it was very interesting that Smash Bros. Didn't get the immediate port that Mario Kart 8 got and some other titles got. So you bet your dollar that the Smash Bros. Port is coming this year. We already got the Bayonetta 2 port coming this year. Now, them just ports. And reason I'm bringing them up is because if you look at the sales of the Wii U, 13 million in 4 years only indicates that nobody really bought the Wii U. So a lot of these games were not played on the Wii U. See what I'm saying? So if Nintendo is able to move 14 plus million in a year, then that means they have already surpassed what the user base of the Wii U already with the Switch. So that means these games that didn't get the life they should have got on the Switch will get life, find new life and new footing on the Wii U will find new footing on the Switch. So that's Bayonetta. That's already been announced. So that's a port. And we saw that this year. We saw ports and new titles covering each month. We got Bayonetta 2 and 3 and a Bayonetta 3 announcement. We know Smash Brothers got to come at some point, and it's probably going to be revised and updated, probably in line like Super Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was. Something new is going to be added to it to make it appealing to those who are already on it and those who didn't buy it because they didn't own a Wii U. So that's what? That's 1, 2, 3. That's 3 games right there. Then you got the Kirby game, which I know you ain't interested in that, and you got the Yoshi game. So that's 5. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a Captain Toad remake somewhere this year. I can see that happening. So that's about 5 to 6 games right there. Now, them are 2. I would say them are AA quality. A lot of those are AA quality.
Okay, there we go. That's what I was gonna get to next.
Well, okay, I would say Arms is a AA too. Go ahead. I've been talking.
What I was gonna get to is that I see a lot of time when people, I don't want to point out and say Nintendo fans do this, but when people are listing games for their console, is that they list a lot of average games for their consoles, as in we're producing games, which I mean it is a game and it is good, but I remember watching the video you guys showed the other guy who was naming all these games for the Switch that was coming out in 2017, and he named like 10, 12 games, and out of the numbers he named, I said, well, there's only 2 I really would want to play. I mean, that's great. That's great that you have 13, 14 games, but if people don't really want to play them anyway, then just having another game isn't good enough. Right? Just saying you have a game on the system is not good enough when it's I know it differs. It differs.
Go ahead.
Different people like different stuff. And it doesn't.
But I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna say something different. But go ahead. I will give you
different people like different stuff, and the same appeal is going to appeal to everyone. But like you said before, they've almost pretty much outgrew the fan base of the Wii U, which means install base, which means they're going to have people who are probably some who are like me and are not, I guess what I would say is not gun-ho over Nintendo's IPs, who will play them. Like I said, the games I have is Zelda and Splatoon, but they're not gun-ho over smaller Nintendo IPs, is what I would say. And so it doesn't really faze them that they're releasing smaller Nintendo IPs because they're not going Google and Gaga over them anyway.
Right. I would say this. I would say on a Sony or Microsoft platform, you would be absolutely correct with these titles to an extent, because anything that's exclusive or anything that's first party made, in most cases, get bought up by the fan base. Is that fair to say?
I will say to you, Recore, but go ahead.
Well, was Recore a first party title, or was Recore just exclusive to Microsoft? I don't think it was a first party.
I would say to you, Quantum Break.
Okay, Quantum Break, but it still sold over 1 million, right?
Meh.
I think it did sell over 1 million.
No, I'm not denying that those sold over 1 million. I'm just the game itself. Sorry.
Okay, so going back to that thought, the reason I believe this is good, while I agree with what you're saying, this cannot be the only offerings. I think with Nintendo, they can get away with these type of titles because they are first party made titles. So even though they don't have the seal of quality on the actual games anymore, it still has the notion of, okay, this is Nintendo first party title, seal of quality. This is going to be a quality game, even though it might be a 2A game. It might not be as big and rich and robust as a Zelda or a Mario Odyssey or something like that. It's still a Nintendo-made first-party offering. So I can see a Kirby game moving 500,000 to 700,000 units. I can see the Yoshi game actually hitting 1 million. I can see Bayonetta 1 and 2, the port selling probably 1 million. If Arms can sell it, if Street Fighters can sell it, if Nintendo places it in the right place of the year in one of them months where, you know, like if a Smash Brothers, let's say Smash Bros is coming this summer, and I just look at how Nintendo set everything up with the Switch in 2017. We got Zelda first, and then after Zelda, we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Then we got Street Fighters. Put it in a spot where there wasn't a game, Street Fighter, so that's it sold. Then we got Arms, it sold. Then we got Splatoon 2, it sold. And then after that, I think we got Mario versus Rabbids, it sold. And then, so how they sprinkled it out, everything was selling. Everything had enough space between each other to where right when you was getting tired of what you was playing, there was a new offering from a first-party Nintendo, either new title or ported title that will, okay, I ain't playing that right now. I'm finished with this. I go cop that. You know, now I don't know if that's going to work in 2018, but I can see it kind of working. And you know, go ahead though.
No. I was letting you in on that. No, I mean I don't really have anything else to add to that.
Okay.
I don't want to start repeating what I said, because like I said, I still see it a little bit differently. And again, it's still my first time on a Nintendo platform since, sad to say, the original Nintendo. Have not owned one since. I've played all of them. I've played every single one of the systems, but I have not owned them. That's two different things. So yeah, we'll have to see about the appeal of those games, and I still think I still don't think. I don't know, I'm kind of indifferent because I don't believe the same recipe that Nintendo's been able to get by with is going to continue to work in the new age of consoles. Like I don't know if
explain what you mean by the recipe. I know you ain't trying to become a villain, but you good. Say what you gotta say, because
I'm trying to word it without I'm just trying to word it. So the same recipe of pretty much lacking third party support, just living off your first parties, It's like I don't think that recipe is something that can continue to push Nintendo past anybody. I still believe they have to continue to bring those third party, like
I
everyone.
agree. I agree.
And that's kind of recipe I'm referring to is just wait to the next first party. Well, all right, wait till the next first party game come out and wait till the next first party, like that recipe. I think they still have to continue to do what they did in 2017, which is secure third party games, convince third party people to come, and then it even makes the first party offerings even that much better. And I think that will keep them and even have a chance to push them past. I know definitely Xbox. I don't know, the PlayStation 4 movement is beyond me. I don't know why it's moving the way it is. I still don't understand that. But definitely push them past Xbox because they're drowning in all aspects. But I still think that to be at their highest and the finest, they need to continue to sprinkle in mid to high quality third party games.
I agree. And what I was saying was, I think you might have missed what I meant when I was saying what I was saying about this year. I was looking at how Nintendo was spacing out their offerings, absent of what third party was doing.
Okay.
So I wasn't saying like this should be it. I'm saying if Nintendo, basically what you just said is what made it successful. Nintendo never let it be a moment of a drought. That's what I meant. Like, there was always, each month, Nintendo had something from themselves that you can purchase that will at least keep your attention for a month if there was nothing else there. But as we started seeing the months progress and as the success of Nintendo swelled, then we started seeing also there. You had the Nintendo title and also NBA 2K18 and also Doom and also LA Noire and also this and also that on the eShop. That's what was never the case on the Wii U. You see what I'm saying? Like, there was nothing from Nintendo. There was nothing from third party. There was not much on the eShop. So you had like 4 months of nothing, 5 months of nothing. Then you would get that game. And then it'd be another 3-4 months of nothing. Whereas Nintendo now is every month you have been guaranteed on the Switch something. Whether it was a AAA title, AA title, third-party title, big eShop title, there has been something every month. And in most cases, at least 2 to 3 things every month. That's what I meant. Like, Nintendo can keep that up by spreading out. Okay, you might not be giving us a Mario Odyssey equivalent, but you're giving us a Yoshi game that's good, worth the money, and it'll hold you up until a Smash Brothers port come with nuances in it, with new revived mechanics in it or new modes in it that's going to carry that's basically going to carry the summer. And then you get a Kirby. It's not nothing big, but it'll hold you over until that Pikmin come or whatever else. That's what Nintendo, I feel like Nintendo has to keep doing. And then in their Wolfenstein, in their Dragon Ball Z Fighters, in their Street Fighters collection, in their Mega Man, in their whatever other third party offering they got. That to me, and then add the eShop. K-Bone, that to me, that's another year of success. See, that makes sense.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
So yeah, I think I just failed to add all the other thoughts. I was just focusing on Nintendo, making sure that Nintendo do what they did this year with their titles. You got to have something every month, something. I don't care if it's Captain Toad level. You got to have something from Nintendo every month, like you did, or every month and a half, like you did with the Switch this year. But yeah, I agree. They cannot just rely on that and have nothing else from third party. Because I think the belief and allure that third party is starting to gravitate to the Switch is also helping sales. I think that's helping sales too. That people see that third party titles, like when you got NBA 2K and WWE, even though that's a horrible mess, that's another conversation.
Yeah, it is.
And PUBG on the Xbox X is another conversation. 4 frames.
Yeah, it is.
We ain't got time, bro.
We don't got time for that.
We ain't got time. So anyway, any other conversations you want to have before we get out of here? I think we about at the end.
No, man, that's legit. It was good podcast, man. It's been a while since we just me and you just chopped it up. I think we do a pretty decent enough job keeping it live, and leveled in this podcast.
I can't let that live go, man. Live will always be a part of this show, man. Mr. L Live 08.
Man, I love the way that dude talk, man. I
miss that dude, man.
That was a cool dude, man. I did like him, man.
Yeah, I miss old Live, bro. Every time I say the name, I think about him, man. But he up in heaven, so that's all that matters. You know, he living a better life. But anyway, I'm probably have to do a memorial or memory show with him in mind. Some of the stuff that he used to do.
True that.
Bring up some of the videos that he had, man. And maybe play it on one of the shows so some of the new listeners can know where that live come from and that live and level. But anyway, man, this was a good podcast. Always good chopping up. You know, we got that chemistry going all the way back to college, man. So
for sure,
it is. But anyway, I thank everyone for tuning in. Sorry for the long hiatus. Hey, bro, you got a tribe and church and all the different things we do. It's hard to get up. But hopefully, if possible, we might be on Sunday with Jedi Knight. I talked to him, so he said he want to be on this Sunday, so it's up to y'all if y'all can make it. But until then, any final words?
Yeah, I do have some final words. I do want to give it up for the chat, keeping it lit, as the truth said, keeping it lit in the chat. Give a shout out to the truth down in the chat. Give a shout out to Cornelius, who keep trying to call out my love for Madden. I see you, bruh. It's all good.
Enthusiastic.
You say what?
Is it Peyton Enthusiast? Is that how you say his name?
Paid and yeah, I believe that's how you say it.
All right.
Yeah, you guys did a good job of keeping the chat room going. I appreciate that. Tony McNeil, I saw you up in there too, and one of the other guys he left out a little bit earlier. He was in there earlier. I'm trying to get his name.
Heart and Soul 72.
Tony, yeah, Tony was in there keeping the chat early before he had to bounce in a little bit. Okay. So we appreciate you guys keeping the chat. It's fun. I try to make sure I keep look out in there, you guys, especially when Cornelia's down there. Keep trying to call out my love for Madden. It's all good. I'm playing Madden right now, so whatever, Cornelius. But yeah, man, it's always fun. And people, if you guys hear this podcast, and you guys want to take a part of the live chat, please check us out. Like I said, we start around 8:30. Not always on time on Thursdays, but 8:30. And we usually have some very intelligent conversations, both on the podcast and in the chat. So if you guys get a chance to check us out,
intelligent and wholesome,
and wholesome, right? Come through. The truth is usually in there, welcoming new members. So if you want to slide through, give them a holler and come through, man. Enjoy.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that, Dark Sun. I thought it was a good podcast myself. Anyway, this is the Live and Level Gamers podcast crew signing out. Tune in next time. I'll try to make sure I have an alert up earlier than I normally do. But, you know, it's hard trying to keep up with things, man, when you got kids running around you like it's hard. So, anyway, till next time, folks, no outro music. Deuces.